late in life. Similarly, if your retrograde Jupiter is in the fourth house, fifth house, ninth house, fourth house, eighth house, or 12th house, then too you will get positive results in life. However, please note that a retrograde Jupiter in first, fifth, ninth, fourth, eighth, and 12th house must be in the sign of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Only then will you enjoy the positive results of retrograde Jupiter in your chart. Then the Mahadasha of such a retrograde Jupiter will prove highly beneficial in your life. So far, I have discussed positive signs and positive house placement for retrograde Jupiter. However, now I will briefly discuss that negative signs and negative house placement for retrograde Jupiter. Jupiter dislikes the other two sets of signs that belong to the Artha Trikona and Kama Trikona. Artha means money. Jupiter is not interested in money. In fact, Jupiter is just like a divine master, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Ramakrishna Paramahansa never kept a single penny with him. It was said that if by chance a coin was found in his pocket, that he would get mad and just throw away that coin. Jupiter is just like his holiness, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. And Kama means sex. Jupiter has absolutely nothing to do with sex. He, in fact, doesn't understand that why a man has to seduce a woman. Because benevolent Jupiter belongs to the highest state of awareness. And to be considered a woman as a mother or a sister. Beyond this relation, he can't understand any other relation. So sexual or physical relation doesn't fall in the dictionary of Sri Guru, the Holy One, Jupiter. And since sex has absolutely no place in the life of Sri Guru, signs of Kama Trikona simply don't relate with the higher octave of Lord Jupiter. And so Jupiter is not happy when it falls in the sign of Kama, that is sex, and Artha, that is money. And so now I will reveal the signs that Jupiter dislikes. The signs that Jupiter dislikes are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Similarly, Jupiter is not comfortable in the second, sixth, 10th, 3rd, 7th, and 11th house. Many people assume that Jupiter does extremely well in the second house, but I have seen many men and women with Jupiter in the second house, and they literally struggle to maintain a good bank balance. So Jupiter in the house of wealth may not mean that you will succeed in having a good bank balance. However, the benevolent Jupiter may shower the wealth of wisdom on you, which in fact is the real wealth of life. Remember, Jupiter hates women and Jupiter hates sex. And so please don't expect lots of money and lots of sexual pleasures from Lord Jupiter. You visit a divine master not to ask for money and not to ask for sexual pleasures from women. You visit a divine master to find the answers to your problem and to find the true essence of the human life. So now, when the retrograde Jupiter is in the second, sixth, 10th, 3rd, 7th, and 11th house, you should expect negative results. because even a normal Jupiter in these houses gives negative results. And so retrogression would make matters worse than otherwise. I will now begin by sharing the general essence of retrograde in all 12 houses. The retrograde Jupiter in first house. This is a very positive placement. The person evolves but slowly. It takes time for such a person to understand the reality of life. But once awakened, he never turns back. He continues to walk on the path of self-awareness. I would say that such a placement, though retrograde, is a wonderful placement, provided this retrograde Jupiter falls in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. If retrograde Jupiter is not placed in these signs, then the person suffers from self-doubt, has low confidence, is timid, and is not progressive by nature. However, still, irrespective of the sign, first house placement for retrograde Jupiter remains positive. The thought of bringing awareness to oneself comes late in life, but as they say, it is better to be late than retrograde Jupiter in second house. This is a negative placement. The person suffers especially if the sign is not suitable to Jupiter's nature. As explained earlier, if Jupiter falls in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, then there is some hope for a positive outcome. Else, the person is devoid of wisdom and generally wastes his or her life living an average life. Retrograde Jupiter in the second house is not favorable when it comes to seeking family support. The person lives alone, or even if he or she has a family, there is a serious problem of trust issues, and the native cannot count on his or her family. This retrograde Jupiter may lead the native to multiple visits to the dentist, and if the sign lord of Jupiter is also retrograde, then there is a serious issue with teeth, eyes, or throat. In fact, if a man or woman having retrograde Jupiter in the second house gets his or her tonsils removed, then it is good since this placement makes the person suffer due to cold and sore throat. The retrograde Jupiter in third house. This is a negative placement. Retrograde Jupiter in third house can create many issues with brothers or sisters. The native may also suffer from certain psychological issues. The native finds difficulties in accepting change. Such a native continues to oppose change. He forgets the fact that except for change, everything else changes in life. He is unable to realize that change is constant. Such a person may end up choosing the wrong brand of car or bike. Making wrong decisions is one particular trait of retrograde Jupiter in the third house. If retrograde Jupiter is in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, that the native has some hope of getting positive results in regards to siblings or in regards to work. Then such a person can show some creativity in life. Otherwise, this is not a favorable placement for retrograde Jupiter. Retrograde Jupiter in fourth house. This is a positive placement for the native. The native gradually earns good status in life, property, good homes, a positive method, and a very strong positive foundation is what this retrograde Jupiter bestows on the native. The native also enjoys good luxurious cars and bikes. Happiness is guaranteed with this placement, however, with delay. Women with this placement, though,